Welcome to the video on tempos and form terminology. This is Mr. Songer with you, and I'm going to go through some different terms with you that you see in music and tell you what they mean. We're going to start with tempo terms, and the first one I have for you is vivace. Vivace is a term that means very fast. When you see that term, you play the music very fast. The next term we have is allegro. Allegro means fast. You have a fast, sometimes medium fast tempo when you see allegro. A little slower than vivace. Moderato means medium tempo. You could probably figure that out from the moderate part that looks like moderate in there. Then we're getting slower. We have andante. Andante means medium slow. It's a medium slow tempo. And our slow one, largo. Largo means very slow. Now there are more, but these are some of the most common ones that you'll see in your music. And now when you're playing music out of your book or in band, make sure you're observing these tempo markings and trying to play at these speeds. If you have a metronome and you can set it to a certain number, beats per minute, in general, a metronome marking that is 120 or higher is going to be in that fast allegro area, and you get into the 140s, then you're talking more vivace. Your moderato is going to be around the 90, 100 area in there. And then andante would be like in your 80 to 90 area. And then your largo is going to be more down near 60 beats per minute. So use that metronome as well with your tempos. So let me talk about the form terminology with you really quick. Form deals with where you go in the music. And so the first term I'm going to show you is repeat. And the repeat sign are the two dots that are usually accompanied by the double line. And a repeat sign simply means you go back to the last set of repeats that you have. And you normally then just play through that section a second time and go on. If you only have one set of repeats and you can't find another set, that you've passed already, that means to go back to the beginning. So repeat signs, very common in music. The next two are a little more confusing. We have the DC al fine. DC is an abbreviation for the Italian term da capo, which means the beginning, and then fine means the end or the finish. And when you see DC al fine, it means you go back to the beginning and then play until you see the word fine all by itself, and that's when you end. So that's a DC al fine. And the next term we have for you is a DS al coda. Now this one is a little more confusing. DS means dal segno, which means go back to this thing right here that looks kind of like a dollar sign maybe, and that's called the sign, and you go back to that sign, and then you play until you get to the coda sign, and then you go to the coda, and that's the coda sign right there. All right. So when you have a DS al coda, you go back to the sign, play until it says to coda, and then go to the coda, which is usually the ending part of your song. Now you can actually have a combination of these two right here. You can also have a DC al coda, so you go back to the beginning and then you would jump to the coda. And you could have a DS al fine, where you go back to the sign and play till it says fine. So those are also possible. So those are your tempo terms and your form terms. And hopefully you will now make a little bit more of an effort to look at those terms, especially when you're playing on your own out of the book. And then when you're in band and you're playing a band song and you have like the form terms like the DS al coda, DC al fine, you'll know where to go and you won't get lost or be looking at your band director like, where are we? So hopefully that helps you all. Have a great day.